felt so alone, wouldn't talk to anyone. And I don't know, it just all got to me at once.
I have moments where I just want to shut myself away from everyone.
So low, like you just don't want to be here or anything like that. It's really difficult.
My name's Tom and I'm from an organisation called If You Care Share Foundation. We were set up about 15 years ago by a family in Great Lumley who lost their son, brother and cousin Daniel O'Hare, and the family set up the charity in the aims of hoping that no one else should have to go through what they went through. We work with primarily young people in the aim of sort of creating a culture of young people who, when they get older, the stigma isn't there in terms of coming out and speaking about their mental health, promoting positive mental health and hoping that when they grow up, it is normal to talk about your emotions and your feelings and when you are kind of struggling. So we work with young people, but the charity as a whole, I think the youngest person we work with is down to 6, and the oldest all the way up to someone in their 90s. So and obviously everything kind of in between, and that is people who may have been affected by suicide, or maybe someone who we think may be at risk of harming themselves or taking their own life. Our main aims are to promote and encourage emotional wellbeing amongst young people. We have a suicide bereavement service. We try and prevent suicide and try and intervene with someone who we think might be at risk of suicide as well.
My name's Jonah York. I'm the Peer Support and Education Officer at the North East Young Dads and Lads. We're a charity based in the North East who work with fathers and fathers-to-be at any stage, from pre-birth to right up until dads who have children of 5 and 7 years old. More and more of our referrals at the moment have been with dads or fathers-to-be suffering from mental health issues that are very wide and ranging. And so anything we can do to support If You Care Share and get that really important message out there about mental health, and hopefully lots of other people like the dads we work with can see this video, and hopefully they can reach out and talk to someone, or even talk to us or If You Care Share.
My name's Robert, I'm 26 years old. I've got a little girl called Rose who's turning 7 in July. It kind of got to the point where it was all overwhelming, and I ended up like getting really down at my desk and things like that, and eventually I got up the courage to talk to my boss, which was really hard actually, because there was a few days where I was going to go up and I just didn't, and I was just sat there doing work. But eventually I did, and straight away she told us that's like one of the bravest things you could do, is to just straight up tell someone what you're feeling, what you're going through. And that's kind of where it started for me, where I was kind of like trying to work things out. I started talking to a lot of people, professionals. The charity helped a lot. There were some nights I was picking my sister up from work on my way home, and I would just sometimes have to, stop the car just suddenly and go to the side of the road, and I was just bawling out crying.
My name's Mark, I'm 30, originally from Deckham, but now live in Bentham. I've got a daughter, she's 5 next month. Medically discharged from the army for mental health reasons. That's when I found out I had PTSD. Then after I left the army, I found out I also had a bit of slight paranoia, so even the slightest shadow can make us jump, or where it seems like people are behind us and walking when there's no one there. I probably had about 7-8 years. Even now, fireworks or bangs can set it off. but that's due to my experience, but everyone has different experiences to something that can trigger it. Whereas for me it's sudden loud bangs or fireworks. I'd probably say I had mental health from when I was about 20, so I've had about 10 years of experience of mental health problems myself.
My name's Leighton, I'm 21. I've got a son called Preston, he's 8 weeks. Fiancée Holly, she's 18. I'm from Sunderland and she's originally from Northern Ireland. We just met in care really. I got put into care on November the 19th, 2013. Some people with mental health can cope well with it, whereas some other people just don't. A few years ago, I tried to kill myself. I was at my lowest. It was horrible. Wouldn't leave my house, I couldn't leave my bedroom some days. I used to be an outdoor kind of person. I wasn't in the house. But now when COVID hit, I stayed in the house and it was horrible. Like, it was just looking at the same four walls every day, watching the same stuff on the telly. It was horrible. Really depressing.
Since the first lockdown, we've seen a massive rise in terms of people getting referred to us and people struggling and things like that. We had something like a 200% rise in referrals just over the course of the few lockdowns that we've had, which is obviously due to the fact that how much people have been struggling through the pandemic and things. And since that all started, we've had to grow our team by quite a few members of staff, unfortunately, due to the demand that the pandemic has put on us and how much people have really been struggling through lockdown.
Mental health can affect you at any point in your life. It can be a tiny thing that can spark, or it can be a big change in your life. But whatever happens, it doesn't mean it's any more or less important to talk to someone, or to find that help, or to seek help from other people. And I hope from hearing these stories that you will be able to reach out, or to make that text or that phone call to someone who might be able to help you. And I hope you also feel that you're not alone, and that actually a lot of men struggle with mental health issues, and it doesn't make you any more or any less of a man.
It really hits people at some point. If you're in that situation, you need to get help, or if you don't get help, things are going to get worse and worse. Like where I wasn't in a really good place, but then I sought help and it was the best thing that ever happened. The people I was living with were really good, helped us seek help and got us on the right track, really.
The second I'd said to my boss, look, I just don't want to do this. I don't think I can keep doing this. Like when it was official, I could breathe a bit more. So then I could work on other stuff and kind of build myself back up, I guess.
He literally took us in his office and said, right, do you need any help? I went, yep, I do. And then they got us on the right path to where I needed. Main thing that's probably helped us is actually seeing people, I know, and even admitting it, that I need help.
So if you think that someone is kind of struggling, obviously the first question that you would ask is, are you okay? And obviously 9 times out of 10 that person is going to say to you, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. So actually what we like to train people to do, and what we like to do ourselves, is get beyond the okay. So ask just a couple more questions and maybe have a look at what they might be doing differently, and then kind of, like I say, get beyond the okay and find out what actually okay means to that person, because my okay will be a lot different to maybe your okay or anybody else's okay. So actually, find out what is going on with that person and find out if they need some support.
Separation and isolation, things like that. Not being as talkative as they normally would be, not visibly clearly like eating as much as they should.
You know yourself. If you're texting your best mate, you know how to speak over text, or they know how to speak to you in face. If you see any warning signs, anything at all, like he's backing off from you a bit, he's not really talking about much, you just need to make sure that you're there for them.
I think to be fair, there are no kind of immediate kind of warning signs to look after. We provide a service that is STOP, so suicide training on prevention. So we have quite a lot of different sort of warning signs and things to maybe look out for. So kind of being withdrawn and in their moods and stuff like that, and if they are actually, you know, harming themselves. There are a lot of things to kind of to look out for. If you feel like you are struggling, you do need some support, the first thing that we always will ask you to do is to speak to someone, talk to someone who you think might be able to help. It could be absolutely anybody. Talk to that person. But also, you know, we are only based in Chesley Street, and obviously we are there to help. That is what we're there for. And if obviously we can't quite help you, we will always point you in the right direction. We'd never just say sorry, we can't help. We'll always follow up on that and point you in the right direction in terms of like the Hub of Hope and different sort of organisations and stuff like that. But we would obviously look to try and help where you can call us and speak to us on the phone. You know, we've got a website, we've got a brand new tech service which is 24/7, where it's completely confidential, and if you think that you are at risk and need to talk to someone immediately, you will be able to text this number and get some support. Or actually, if you think that someone else might be in trouble, or you think that you are in trouble yourself, then that is there for you as well.
This charity has been going since 2015, and we mainly rely on grant funding to keep us alive. But it's also good because it means we can do lots of exciting and innovative opportunities, like creating the DigiDAD platform, which is an e-learning platform where lots of dads can get involved and find out about parenting courses and watch lots of other films about where other young dads might talk about their experiences of being a dad. We work with young dads predominantly, but young dads are seen as anything under the age of 25. So we've had dads as young as 14 and dads as old as 25, but our engagement doesn't really stop there. Often young dads will continue working with us as volunteers or even as paid members of staff, and we're increasingly seeing a large amount of dads coming back into the charity after they've their kids have grown up a little bit, and it's a really lovely journey of people joining us at different points and coming back and kind of just being welcomed back to the big family that is the North East Young Dads and Lads.
Just knowing that there's a whole group of lads who have like sort of this like-mindedness, and they're in a position to talk about similar things that you can relate to, helps a great deal actually.
If you talk about it, just gets your whole weight lift off your shoulders.
Feels like there's no, like all the pressure that's been built up is getting released when you're talking to someone.
It's not okay to not be okay, men are supposed to be the kind of, there's the old adage of man up, you need to man up and stuff like that, and men can't be seen to be sort of upset and crying and stuff, which is absolute garbage. A lot of the time when men do speak out about these things, it'll kind of snowball into more and more people kind of speaking out and talking about their feelings and how they've struggled and been through something very, very similar. So just because you are a man and expected to be that kind of role model and expected to have man up and trying to get over these things, it doesn't need to be that way. Like I said, if you're a man or whoever, we're there for whoever it may be.
I think it's been really nice to have like Tom here and kind of see how we let the dads kind of talk to each other in the game, and
it gets them here, it gets them active, it gets them I guess out of the house as well, which is obviously a good thing in these times. But actually, I think especially in the kind of environment that they're in all the time and stuff like that, it's good to get a bit of aggression out and stuff, and see each other and socialise. And
for some of the lads, this is the only time they'll come out. you know, because they might be socially isolated or they feel very vulnerable or anxious at home, you know, and it's just I think it's a great chance for them to get out, have a bit of a game and have a bit of a laugh.